In the heart of Moscow, beneath the golden domes and shadowed spires, it was snowing for the last time. At least that's what they said on the news. Climate collapse, atmospheric shifts, something about jet streams. But for Dima, a retired clockmaker living on the quiet edge of Arbat Street, it just felt like Tuesday. Dima had lived through revolutions and recessions, but nothing struck him quite like this. The idea that snow, Moscow's eternal companion, would disappear. He shuffled to his small apartment, past ticking clocks of all sizes, until he reached a window. Outside, red squares shimmered under a pale white veil. Children built what could be their final snowmen, unaware of the farewell embedded in each flake. Across the street, in a cluttered bookshop, Anna was closing early. A translator by trade and a poet by passion, she had been writing verses about snow since childhood, metaphors of memory and cold beauty. But today, words failed her. As dusk fell, the city gathered. Strangers and neighbors, bundled in scarves, stood in silent communion beneath the falling snow. Dima walked to the square, a worn mechanical snow globe in his hand. He had made it 50 years ago for his late wife. Inside it, a tiny metal Moscow perpetually snowed. Anna noticed him and smiled, a smile that said, "We've both seen too much, but still we're here." Without speaking, she slipped a note into his hand before vanishing into the crowd. He read it under the glowing Kremlin towers. "When the last snow falls, time will remember us." And just like that, the snow stopped. Forever. But in Dima's shop, the clocks kept ticking, and the snow globe never ceased to swirl. Okay, let's talk about this story. First off, I want to say that I love the contrast between the backdrop of the story, which is the political turmoil and the economic uncertainty that's happening in Russia right now, and then the very small contained story of an old man and a woman who's writing poetry. And somehow these two things come together beautifully in this story. The way that you set the scene is so vivid. I can feel the cold. I can see the snow. I can hear the chimes of the clocks. There's a moment in the story where you really get me. You write, for Dima, the idea that snow, Moscow's eternal companion, would disappear was more terrifying than any revolution or recession he'd known. That's such a powerful line because it really makes us think about how even the smallest things in our lives can be the most important. You know, like the snow falling every year is what gives this old man a sense of continuity, a sense of peace. Like, we don't know if the snow is actually gone forever or if it's just a temporary thing. So even though the future is uncertain, he has the past and he has the present, and that's enough to keep him going. Overall, I just thought this was a really beautiful story. It was a pleasure to read. Thank you for sharing it.